From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. The relationship between Canada and the U.S. has been turned upside down recently, with Donald Trump's trade war replacing a time-tested alliance with uncertainty. Now, that uncertainty may be behind Prime Minister Mark Carney's call for a review of Canada's plan to purchase a fleet of F-35 fighter jets. Citing the changing environment, Defense Minister Bill Blair says he's looking into whether the multi-billion-dollar deal is the best investment for Canada or if there are better options. Stress relief is on offer at an East Coast establishment dubbed Rage Room Halifax. The facility sees clients pay to destroy items, typically by smashing them with a baseball bat or a crowbar. More and more people are turning up to take part in the latest special event, Smash the Tariffs. With the purchase of a regular session, every patron now gets a free Donald Trump picture to destroy at will. Framed photos of Vice President J.D. Vance and Tesla CEO Elon Musk are available as well for an extra $5, with proceeds going to local food banks. Potentially hazardous conditions around rivers and other bodies of water are possible in Ontario today. Environment Canada says rainfall of 10 to 20 millimeters is forecast for Toronto, which could trigger localized flooding in low-lying areas and water pooling on roads. Though the Toronto and Region Conservation Authority says it doesn't anticipate widespread flooding, it can be expected in some areas with poor drainage. Meantime, dozens of tornadoes were reported overnight Friday into Saturday, hitting several U.S. Midwest states. Details from reporter Chuck Sievertson.
Outside a strip mall in Butler, Missouri, clobbered by a twister, Rick Brittingham.
The roof's blown off of it. Everything around it here is really bad. The trailer park up the street had fatalities. So, we don't have nothing compared to anything like that. I still have a home. They don't.
LaPorte Ratliff drives a semi-truck.
Me and the other truck drivers, we came together and we, moved all the debris from in front of the trucks.
The twisters cut off power to hundreds of thousands.
Authorities say at least 34 people were killed as a result of the storms. And finally, overseas, it's been another weekend of protests in Tel Aviv as Israelis demand their government negotiate a hostage deal and a ceasefire with Hamas. But Israel wants to extend the ceasefire's temporary first phase, a proposal that's being backed by the U.S. Protester Martin Goldberg says Israelis must pressure their government to seek out a deal while calling the destruction of Gaza senseless.
There's nothing left, so what's more left to destroy? War did not bring back our hostages. The army did not bring back our hostages, unfortunately.
On Friday, Hamas said it had agreed to free an American Israeli and the bodies of 4 other hostages if Israel begins the next phase of the ceasefire talks, with movement toward a permanent end to the war. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, it was a busy night in the NHL. Elias Pettersson scored and notched an assist as the Vancouver Canucks thumped the Chicago Blackhawks 6-2. Earlier, Claude Giroux scored the winner on a second-period power play as the Ottawa Senators topped the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2, and Cole Caulfield had a goal and an assist as the Montreal Canadiens knocked off the visiting Florida Panthers 3-1. In PWHL action, the Boston Fleet downed the Ottawa Charge 5-2. Over to the pitch now, CF Montreal played to a scoreless draw against DC United 0-0. The visiting Chicago Fire beat the winless Toronto FC 2-1, and the Vancouver Whitecaps remain unbeaten, downing FC Dallas 1-0. And finally, over in the NBA, Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 48 points as the visiting Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Detroit Pistons 113-107. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.